Greetings, greetings, greetings for those that are here. Hope everyone's had a great day so far. Decided to do this a bit earlier in the day. Figured it'd be better. I was feeling energetic. Hey, Bio, Miriam, Shironeko, Gavin the Boy, Cross Counter Kun, Utsuro. Collins, Bryce. What's up? I mean, my day's been pretty easy so far. Just got some groceries, came home, prepared the stream, got a lot of sleep. So, like that feeling when you get a lot of sleep and you just want to keep sleeping? Oh, that's what I was like when I woke up this morning, man. Ah. 2:30 a.m. here. Glad it's not later. Where are you at, Green? 2:30. Is that? That's not Australia, is it? I don't know. Oh, Zaymon, duh. 10 Dara. Glad to be able to catch you live for once, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 10 Dara. We'll try and see if we can get anything going. Although, I don't know. I haven't gone around to look at what the perception of this week's chapter was. Perhaps you guys can enlighten me because you probably watch One Piece videos. I'm going to assume it was really nothing. For the most part, that's what I'm going to assume, at least. But we'll say the obvious, and I think a lot of things in this chapter are very obvious to point out. South Australia. Oh, I was right. Drit's about to reckon on me. Yeah. Well, I'll say at the very least, I have nothing good to say about the Nami stuff. Yo, welcome, Wale. I love how savage Oda is. I love how savage is Oda. He gave to the fans a mid-Robin moment, and then he forgot about her again. You know, one of the things that, like, it just kind of what we expected, but it's not a cool thing to acknowledge. But, you know, in the panel in the chapter, there's, like, that singular image of... What's the Spider Girl's name? I don't know. But the person that Brooke and Robin are fighting, there's, like, some scratch marks on their face showing that they've been fighting off screen. So just tells you there's really no narrative at play, which is kind of the... I mean, that's exactly what happened with Ulti. But, yeah. The Straw Hat fights that we've all been waiting for. People are just hyped that Nami's getting stronger, and that's the exact wrong reason. That's how you know people don't really care. And this happens, like, it feels like maybe what? Once every 3 to 4 months, there's like a moment, maybe every 2 months. There's a moment that's like particularly bad, but it promotes an agenda that has nothing to do with the quality of the story. And longtime readers don't care about the quality. They just go, yeah, something generic that I wanted to see. Oh, yeah. Oh, the crew getting stronger, guys. Oh, God. You know, it's always disappointing to see. Yo, yeah, Yorich, I'll be uploading this to the second channel as per usual. I feel like at least for the past few times I've streamed, I've been consistent with that. I don't think I streamed for last chapter, but I didn't really feel like it. Black Maria, yeah, that was her name. Black Maria, Spider Girl. Yo, what's up, Baki? Did I see the Elden Ring trailer? Yeah, I saw the Elden Ring trailer. There's a lot of stuff inside of that trailer. It's kind of what I expected for the most part. I'm really excited for that game, though. Really, really excited. I've become a big fan of the Soul series games over the past couple months. Saw a comment today about Kid using the giant katana Onigashima. Seems interesting. What do I think about this? I don't care. It's a bit of an underwhelming answer for you, Infamous. I think. Wait, Infamous, were you used to be the doctor? Are you the doc? I don't know. I think you get the same exact profile picture. But like I've said this before, but whenever I have slandered Kid, and people that still care about Kid have come in here and said, "Yeah, just you wait until Kid does something power scaling wise," I have to reiterate that I don't care about whatever power scaling stuff Kid does. The character of Kid is dead. So whatever he does, I don't care about. And that's kind of the same thing with a lot of the characters that get quote unquote hype moments. If they lack like the quality of substance behind them, I'm kind of like disinterested in it. So if Kid grabs that big katana, cool. If nothing else, if Oda draws it in an entertaining way, it will look impressive art wise. Because you would have to have the big panel shot of it having it in the perspective. Yo, BDA Law, another 10 out of 10 rating. Brago, what was this? Was this chapter a classic 7 out of 10 One Piece setup chapter? Cole made a video about Kid being a bum and everyone was capping in the comments. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, what do you expect people to say? Has there really been any point in time outside of maybe one or two instances where a vast majority of fandoms are like, yeah, that's not good? I don't know. Maybe I'd have to put on my thinking cap, but not a whole lot of moments come to mind. Yo, what's up, Ghost? You going to watch E3? I actually haven't watched E3 in like, geez, how long has it been? I want to say maybe 7 years. Am I going to talk about 1015 as well? Yeah, that's right. I didn't talk about it last week, huh? To be honest, I would have to go back and see what happened in that chapter because I forgot. I don't remember what there was some. Actually, I don't even. I have to go back and read it again. I was making chapter notes for that chapter, and I was like, ooh, like what I remember a couple things, but what I was talking about, I was like, yeah, this might be better for a video. What do you mean, Dritz? How did his character die? I'm curious. So this is going back to Kid, right? Because that's what I said. So to his character dying, you would have to go back to Udon, right? There was the opportunity in Udon to expand Kid as a character and to at least give him something. There was a hint towards it whenever he talked to Luffy about, fake news being said about him regarding Big Mom, Shanks taking his arm, all that sort of stuff. And it didn't really go anywhere, but it gave you the hint that Oda might be actually doing something with Kid. And then Kid escaped from prison, and he didn't do anything, got off screen, and immediately came back to the prison without doing anything, even though it was in the newspaper that Kid escaped for literally no reason. And then you have the killer stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe the killer stuff's going somewhere. Nope, doesn't go anywhere whatsoever. Kid has this whole spiel after being coincidentally, inconveniently saved by Queen's flying body from Big Mom, that Kid doesn't want to get into alliances anymore, and that he's saying to Luffy, fuck you, I'm gonna let you go this time, but I'm gonna go on my own road. And then at the pier, everything ends. How badly Kid was handled in Udon is turned up to 11 at the pier because Kid coincidentally at the exact same time as everyone else in the story arriving conveniently arrives where Luffy is, and he basically immediately joins up and teams up with everyone that he said he wasn't going to do, and now he's just memeing around, no character agency. Kid versus Apu doesn't even exist. It's just stupid. There's like no Kaido Kid narrative. Kid found his crew off screen at some place along with his ship. Kid does, and then not only that, but like Kid's performance on the rooftop was absolute garbage. Ugh, it's just so disappointing. Kid is not the character that all of the fandom wanted him to be. He's a fraud. Had no plan against Kaido whatsoever, no strategy. His devil fruit sucks. The way the Oda is utilizing it, at least, it sucks. So many missed opportunities, man. Kid is literally just there. Kid talks shit and then Luffy does everything. Just why do people call One Piece chapters setup chapters every single time Oda drops a mid chapter? Yo, I'm not sure how long you've been in the community, but this has been going on for literally years at this point. I mean, the simplest answer is the correct one. It's a defense mechanism against criticism. Because I mean, it is actually true that not every chapter is going to be an amazing chapter, but the reason why people say classic One Piece chapter is just to basically defend against criticism that they know is there. Subconsciously, they know is there. Why am I downplaying Gibson Slam Drits? Please don't bring up these punk Gibson or Gibson slams in my presence, please. What are my thoughts on Kaido killing Kinemon? Oh yeah, killing. That happened last chapter, right? Oh yeah, I'm starting to remember what last chapter was about. Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure I remember what happened. I mean, I think it's for me. Oda didn't kill Kinemon, in my opinion. I don't think he killed like any of those characters. Maybe Kondro. I don't think Kinemon's dead. If Oda couldn't kill off a cloud, I'm not really expecting him to go ahead and kill off Kinemon in the way that he did. What can Oda do to make me like Sanji? Make him a good character. Care to talk about the One Piece sales or leave it after the chapter discussion? Yeah, we can do it after the chapter discussion if you want to go ahead and bring it back up. I think that's something worth talking about. Because I mean, obviously, from my perspective, there's things you can dive into it, but there are some nuances to the topic. Have I talked about the chapter yet? Not yet, JJK. Who do I dislike more, Odin or Yamato? Who do I Oh, so this is more like a subjective thing. Who do I dislike more? Yamato, easily. Who is technically the worst character? Odin. Yamato is also a shit character, but Yamato is so unlikable. Oh my god. You know, it's not going to take much for Oda to surpass how annoying Rebecca was at her height of annoyance in Dressrosa. Oh my god. Yamato is, oh my gosh. Oh, so annoying. I hate that character with a passion. Yo, my boy Clifford the Red Dog says, Drits, have you seen the Stormlight Archives, Brandon Sanderson tubers starting and praising One Piece? Even your contemporary book nerds don't agree with you on how good One Piece is. Cliff, you're leaving out the context, Cliff. They haven't gotten to the post time skip. They're all in the pre-time skip, baby. I agree with them. What are you talking about? They're doing East Blue Enies Lobby? Yeah. Of course they're going to like it. Do I think Yamato will actually join? No. Nothing's changed my opinion on that. If anything, I would say that Yamato being so on the nose about it is more evidence that it might not happen. But the side boobs, though, oh my god. Oh, yes. So great. Rebecca's a sweetheart. You have a tainted heart. Rebecca was cool in the first half of Dressrosa, and then her character went down the shitter. That's literally what happened. Rebecca could have actually been a good character, but then she got turned into damsel in distress. Her character motivations didn't matter, and she just started crying and screaming Lucy. That's basically been Yamato since Yamato's been introduced. Just how do you feel about people hyping Kaido up as the best villain in One Piece? Kaido and the Beast Pirates have been some of the worst villains I've ever read watched to me. Kaido, the best villain in One Piece? Well, no, I don't think he's anywhere close to being the best villain in One Piece. I started to talk about this in my chapter notes for 115 that I never released because like I'll probably save this whenever I actually analyze Kaido as a character. But Kaido has lots of issues. But for as many issues that he has, there are aspects of Kaido that make him likable. And these don't really have anything to do with his character. It's more or less the fact that he does raw stuff. And sometimes he seems fairly competent. So you want to like him because he says one-liners and, is very strong. So in that way, he's very likable as an obstacle-like character. But then there are things that make Kaido seem bitch-like and inconsistent. I don't think Kaido's anywhere close to being a top villain in One Piece. I wouldn't even have him near my top 5. Because for all the things that Kaido does well, I think lesser villains in terms of status do it better than he does. So, no. I mean, like, if people like Kaido, that's fine. Kaido's a Yonko. There's going to be this inherent feeling from fans that the bigger a character is supposed to be, that the more that they should like them. Which is actually something very natural that you'll find, because raises expectations. If you want to like them, you want to like them. I don't think Kaido's anywhere close to being a top 5 villain. Dritz, if Yamato actually joins the crew, the bar has become so low for being a straw hat. Well, I don't really agree with that, to be honest. If so, Yamato joining would be the bar being that low. What was it that high before Yamato joined? Let's be real. I mean, look at where some of the straw hats are right now. Is the bar that high? I don't know. Who's a worse character, Sanji in Whole Cake Island or Zoro in Wano? I will say Sanji for now, because there was at least... What makes it worse for Sanji is that there was an attempt to use his character in Whole Cake Island, where in Wano there wasn't an attempt to use Zoro's character at all. Who do I dislike more, Big Mom or Yamato? Ooh, close. Who do I dislike more? Yamato. There was at least a point in time where I liked Big Mom. I agree, last anime. I mean, at least most of the Straw Hats had strong introduction arcs, then fell off a cliff, but Yamato and Wano, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're talking about just introduction arcs, then yeah, I suppose so. But I get maybe the casual fan base will disagree with you because character design. But I mean, as I said, if you look at the strats post time skip, the bar is not really that high. So I still don't think Yamato's going to join. If Yamato joins, I will have a second. She will usurp Brook in terms of characters that I hate the most on the Straw Hat crew. Sanji obviously being number one, and then would be Yamato. Um, but yeah, we'll see. There's still a lot of time left. We'll see what happens. E, I want you to stand back and ask yourself the question: why does that matter? Anyway, I'll go back to answering the chat in a second. Let's just go over the chapter real quick. There's not a whole lot to go through because this chapter was actually fairly sliced up into pieces that you can analyze. Not a whole lot to go through as far as I'm concerned. Chapter is divided into 3 sections. First part being Fire Festival, second part being Nami. Third part being Kaido and Yamato, right? So, first part, Flower Festival. Not is it Flower or Fire? It's Fire Festival, right? Fire Festival. There's not really a whole lot to say here outside of the fact that I don't know. It seems oddly placed. I guess there's nothing wrong with what's here. Um, there was an artistic error. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Hitetsu has wings, but in the Fire Festival, he has his entire getup on outside of his wings. Um, just some dialogue, not really a whole lot going on here. Then the chapter immediately translates over to the Nami stuff. Well, I guess there's 4 parts. There's the part with no, this would be the second part. I don't really count the CP0 stuff. The CP0 people are just doing the Hunter x Hunter narrating, just telling people what's going on. That's fine. Then we have the second part of the chapter, which is obviously the worst section of the chapter. Nami, Tama, Usopp, and everyone versus Ulti. My gosh. It doesn't take a genius to realize that this entire sequence of events is bullshit and just bad and not even entertaining in the least. I don't know what Oda thought, what thoughts were going through Oda's mind as he was constructing the narrative for Nami getting Zeus's soul going into the Climax, and then the defeat of Ulti. But obviously, there wasn't a whole lot of thought put into it. This may be one of like the worst fights in the series from an entertainment perspective. This fight composed of 25 plus chapters of running around, no strategy involved, and then being gifted the answers to the fight that you didn't even know you needed, and winning just because. And this is also against a nerfed enemy because Ulti somehow survived the Tri-Beam homie attack from Big Mom. This is not a good thing for Nami. This is another example of just Oda fucking around. I don't understand how anyone can look at this part and think, yeah, this was done well, or I feel satisfied seeing Nami get this power up in this manner, used in this fashion. Usopp was not even relevant basically at all during this portion. These quote unquote moments were forced, no narrative around them. Nami wasn't even using her brain in this fight and won by sheer bullshit. Zeus's spirit is allowed to go inside of objects, but he needs Big Mom's okay to get out of them. Okay, cool. Whatever. Just goes inside the Climax as his soul was being eaten. None of this was necessary at all. I don't understand why Oda even went through the leapfrogs to do this. Oh man. It's so bad for Nami. It's kind of weird because like whenever you look at the Straw Hats in terms of women, so between Robin and Nami, Oda obviously has a bias for Nami, but it's moments like these where Nami gets the most screen time by far between the two characters that you're like, well, maybe it's a good thing that Oda doesn't care about Robin at all because Nami gets these sequences where she is just like abused or the moments aren't really that good. Um, man, it's sad to see. I'm gonna cry. I understand why she keeps getting so much screen time. Nami is getting worse and worse. She is getting worse and worse. Ugh. I don't know, man. What? Ugh. All right, moving on. I don't know. I could probably go into more technical and writing details if I sat down and wrote down the notes for this, but to be honest, I'm just going to give the broad generalization. Uh, if you guys go back and watch the previous discussions I've done about how bad this ulti in Nami section has been from a character and structural standpoint, this section is easily shit. Like, actually, I was thinking about it. I was talking with Glam. Um, outside of Luffy and Zoro, who have some of the worst fights in the series, if you're talking about this, like how bad the writing is, Nami, Usopp versus Ulti in page one might be near the bottom, along with some of Luffy and Zoro's fights, with how bad the writing has been. Uh, it's impressive. This fight was ass. As a matter of fact, I don't know. Can this be called a fight? Like, do we count this as a fight? It didn't really feel like one, to be honest. Mm. It's definitely up there. I mean, it's up there. You consider this a clash, an encounter, not a fight. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, does this count as a fight or kerfuffle? Also, I had two donations. Let me go back and read them real quick. $5 from the loner. What's up, loner? Have no fear, the loner is here. Showing love for my boy. Carrot is better fitting than Yamato being shoehorned in PS. And PS. Jertz, where's my mod? What are you gonna do for that mod, Playboy? $10 from Carter Song. What's up, Carter? How do you feel about the monster? How do you feel about how the monster trio is performing? Also, thoughts on Yamato versus Kaido. How do I feel about how the monster trio is performing? I mean, I would have to care about them first, I guess. I don't think it's been good. Luffy and Zoro from the rooftop have been awful. In terms of just like how good the writing is, I think it's been pretty bad. Sanji's writing in Onigashima has been pretty ass cheeks. Power scaling wise, I mean, he's not as bad as Zoro and. Well, I mean, I don't know. Sanji's probably up there as well because of the whole uh, Black Maria stuff, but they all stink. Is my conclusion. Also, thoughts on Yamato against Kaido. I guess this will transition into the last section we can talk about, which is the Kaido stuff. I mean, not really much to say here, to be honest. You just have an exchange of dialogue. This is basically just a redo of the last chapter with just a little bit more dialogue. You get some interesting lore drop from Kaido that he's in Wano for a reason. And then boom, off screen. Nothing to really say here, to be honest. Yamato is ridiculously irritating as a character. This character is more forced than Katakuri and Oden in terms of Oda trying to force them upon the audience in terms of likability, and I don't think it works because Yamato is insufferable. But they fight. Yamato is a girl, and she is fighting Kaido, so hype, I guess. Nothing bad from Kaido here, I suppose. Although, to be honest, something I couldn't help but notice is that, last chapter when Momo and that stupid, what's her name, Shinobu, they fell off the cliff. Kaido just kind of watched them fall and assumed they were dead, but he immediately turned into his dragon form to fly up to talk to Yamato. Could just turn into a dragon to catch Momonosuke to make sure he was dead. Whatever. Not too big of a deal. But yeah, chapter's over. Main chunk of this chapter is the Nami stuff. So whenever you're looking at this chapter, it's mainly going to be dissatisfaction over the Nami sequence. So yeah. First part of the chapter, nothing to say there. For people that like Toko, maybe they care. Nami portion sucks. Kaido portion with Yamato is fine, I suppose. Yamato just stinks. But yeah, chapter's over. Yeah, see, not a whole lot to say about this chapter. In my writing notes, I could probably say more, but it's just like, eh. Just what are your thoughts on randoms on Twitter bashing you all the time for your criticisms? I actually got into an argument with some of you, dude. I mean, what are my thoughts? That's what you would expect to happen. I have been what I guess you would call bitching about One Piece for years at this point, and that's always been the case. So people are just going to say that because, that's fine. All of Kaido's dialogue feels like stock villain dialogue to me. Well, you wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't be wrong. Fritz, what do I think about Queen getting his teeth knocked out by Sanji? I don't care. It's more apparent than it's ever been with the context of Wano that Oda really does not care about the commanders outside of a select few that have his privilege, which is the first commanders minus King, because King is pretty stinky. The second commanders always seem to be a joke, it seems like. Queen is shit, so I don't really expect much different from Queen's performance. Chapter is also 2 pages less than one, by the way. Haser, does that include double spreads? It's still less? Or is it just by regular page count? Because, there were, how many spreads were in this chapter? Actually, were there any? Actually, no, there were no spreads, were there? Oh, all right, well, there you go. 2 less pages is fine. I'm not really anal when it comes to page number. $2 from Loner says, what if the tragedy is Yamato dying? Oh, please let it happen. Please. E, I see that you didn't do any of the thinking I asked you to. You say, Dritz, will Yamato be redeemed if she had Ace's son? What? E, I'm not sure if this is a serious question or not, but like, I'm gonna have to ask you a serious question. Why would that be redemption? Hi, Dritz from. Oh, it's Hassan, my boy Hassan. Hi, from Egypt again, Dritz. Question: do you think Yamato is a legendary White Tiger user? And do I think? I mean, I haven't really seen a whole lot to go off of. I don't really care. If she was cool, I mean that's a cool devil fruit. I wouldn't mind. I mean, it wouldn't be as great because I find the character with the devil fruit insufferable. But in terms of idea, that would be a pretty good idea. So my boy, so how bad do you think it was? Yo, what's up, Ivan? I mean, if you want a TLDR of the chapter, if the chapter wasn't horrible, like if you're comparing it to how bad some other chapters have been, but in my opinion, this wasn't a good chapter. The Nami stuff I would consider bad, awful. The other two sections I can't really comment on because like inherently there's nothing wrong with them. The Yamato Kaido stuff, that's fine. I have a dislike of the character for Yamato, but if you isolate this chapter, there's nothing wrong with what happened there. And the Fire Festival stuff is oddly placed, but there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just the Nami stuff that's really, really bad. So that's my overall thoughts. Yo, Shava CR says, Dritz, yo, you think Kaido gets better portrayal with all the knowledge that he seems to have? Greetings from Costa Rica. Costa Rica. Oh, from where Brago's from. Excellent. Okay. Do I think he gets better portrayal? Potentially. I mean, this could be like something that adds up over time. I don't think Kaido inherently having more knowledge makes him better, considering what he's been doing for the arc. It could be something that pays off in the long run when we eventually get Kaido's backstory. I don't think it fixes any of the issues that Kaido has, but it could end up being interesting because there are a couple things that are likable about Kaido, and that could be one of them. What's up, Aspen? Dritz, is Hiyori a better side character than Pudding? No, surprisingly. Pudding, for the first half of Whole Cake Island, was pretty good, in my opinion. But then turned to shite in the latter half. Whereas Hiyori has been shite basically since the identity of Hiyori's been revealed. I thought Hiyori was an incredibly interesting character when the identity of Komurasaki was first introduced to the story. I thought that was a really neat way to do things. But I don't know if you guys remember, but when Komurasaki was first introduced, there was something going around in every single YouTuber's review of that chapter. And even Sawyer Seven Maj himself had it in his review, which was, please God Oda, don't make Komurasaki like every single other female character in the series. Please don't do it. And then he did it. And then the writing for Hiyori kind of went. Just why do you think Oda dropped the ball with Rebecca when he did so well with Vivi, especially since the arcs they are in are similar? Mm-mm. Well, it's hard to say. I mean, Vivi has different context compared to Rebecca because Vivi was with the Straw Hats for numerous arcs prior to heading into Alabasta. So there's a lot more time to build up Vivi's character within the crew. Rebecca didn't really have that. Rebecca just had her initial relationship with Luffy and then what was going on within the country. She didn't relate to any part of the other crew. Um, but, you know, bigger issues that came in with Rebecca was that Oda never let her really be her own character. She was used as the damsel in distress for the one-legged Kyros and basically just said, fuck you, Rebecca. We're giving everything to Kyros now. And then he exaggerated the issue by having Rebecca act in incredibly annoying ways. Just Law and Kid versus Big Mom is so bizarre. That fight literally had no setup before the raid. I know. I know. It's just there. I know. Yeah, I don't know. The Law and Kid stuff versus Big Mom is so weird to me. Um, I don't know, man. It's like I've said before, the structure within Onigashima has been bad, to say the least. Driss, do you think Black Friends makes you cool? Absolutely. Do I have any hope for about a Kainu's character? No. Dritz, I think it is pathetic that Oda is using CP0 to state the change in army numbers like it is something super cool. Pathetic? Okay, right. We're gonna have to tone this down a little bit and put this into context. I think you are. I'm going to make a judgment here, a judgment call, and say that you are putting your feelings for everything that you're disappointed with into the CPU0 thing and putting more issue into this than there actually is. CP0 just chilling, updating the audience on what's happening isn't like ridiculous. Like, that's not pathetic. If the rest of the arc was going well and everything was up to par, you wouldn't be feeling this way about CP0. Like, if Onigashima was like 10 out of 10 great that it's been so far, and we had CP0 Hunter x Hunter narrating it, you wouldn't be complaining. And there's nothing been wrong with the CP0 stuff, to be honest. Yeah, it's something to point out because the rest of what's happening isn't cool at all. But like, it's not pathetic. It's how do you feel about Jinbei's power scaling? Because in my opinion, it has been very weird and inconsistent. Uh, can we even talk about Jinbei's power scaling? If we're being real, can we? How much can we really talk about it? Just how much farther do you think Robin will fade into the background after Vivi returns to the crew? Well, I don't think that's happening. But I don't know. If anything, quote unquote fading into the background, I think that you'll see less of that moving forward because the story is coming to its natural end. So Oda's going to have to bring some of the characters back to the forefront. Robin's going to end up being one of them at one point in time. The worst for Robin in terms of not being in the plot has probably already passed. So I think she'll be more involved moving forward in the story. If I'm being honest. What's up, Ahmed? Who's my favorite female character in the series? Nami. Nami by a mile. Dritz, by the way, what's up with Luffy's strange ability last chapter? I wouldn't be able to tell you. Because we obviously don't know. Definitely a weird way for Oda to put that in there. I don't like that entire interaction. Although it could have been worse. There is some credit to be stated that Luffy is using it unknowingly, which is better than him using it consciously. Because there's more of an excuse for using an ability unconsciously than there is consciously, considering you didn't know it existed. The issue that's at hand there is that Luffy is specifically giving a message while unconscious to someone that he doesn't know can hear him. And then that person's getting the message and then relaying it. That's pretty bullshit. But, you know, hey. Because I read Dressrosa Weekly, the story structure there was worse, most messy arc in the series. Oh, Dressrosa is a mess. Its pacing is absolutely dreadful. Although I would say Wano is basically at that level. Did Dawn goaded though? No. Yeah, Dawn is goaded. There shouldn't be a single person that hates Dawn. So, Tyler Hawk. Tyler, you must be absolutely devastated. You're asking an Usopp question? I can feel the pain. So was Usopp only paired with Nami just to take her beatings? He gets his fight stolen from him while Nami gets an upgrade and a cheap win. That's some bull. Okay, so we can talk a little bit here when it comes to Nami and Usopp. So what is the conclusion we draw from this fight outside of the fact that the Straw Hats quote unquote won this? The fight's not over. So Nami and Usopp will be used for more. I think that's very easy to say. I don't know in what way this will happen, but if, oh my god, if Ulti and Page One get up again, just please Oda stop. But let's say that they're completely done. Nami and Usopp will have to go do something else because they can't just sit around doing nothing, right? Because there's a war going on. So for your Usopp hopes, Tyler, there's still some flames smoldering because now that Nami has the quote-unquote power-up, she only used it once, really. I mean, probably going to have to use it a bit more, yeah? Do I think Mihawk will ever be affiliated with any group? I'm not leaning one way or the other in this regard. I think it's possible for either scenario to be true. For Mihawk to be affiliated with a group and for Mihawk to be a loner through and through. I think both options are viable. I have no hope. Well, I think that's more or less the accurate feeling to have, Tyler. I think there's going to be more things for Usopp and Nami to do, but the question at hand is whether or not these things will be good or satisfying. And if any of the fights so far have been an indication of anything, then there shouldn't be the expectation that you're going to be coming out, you know, just absolutely thrilled that you got to see that. What do I think is Dofi's purpose now? I think Dofi's purpose is basically to help Endgame with the secrets of Mary Joa. Probably to get some sort of conclusion or conversation again with Law at another point in time whenever he leaves and pulled down. But he's going to be helpful. He's basically going to be an ally, in my opinion. Whether or not he's directly assisting or indirectly assisting, Dofi will end up being an ally for the end war. Has Usopp gone just as bad as Sanji? He's done almost nothing and been a joke in Wano? No, he hasn't been as bad as Sanji because Sanji's been at least utilized more than Usopp. And in my opinion, I mean, there's two ways to look at it. You are either not involved in the story and it sucks that you aren't involved, or you're involved in the story, but the parts you're being involved in are bad. For me, the parts that you are being involved in being bad is worse than not being there. Thomas' announcement about to end the war. Um, you know what? Does anyone know what the announcement is going to be about? Any theories, boys? I think Nami and Usopp will just be Thomas escorts while she just turns the fodder to their side. I mean, they kind of already been doing that, but yeah, that's possible. So Nami's writing's up there with Zoro and Luffy's bad writing now. Ooh. I think Luffy's in a different level. Zoro's pretty bad, but I would say Nami and Zoro are applicable to one another. Please keep fighting and assisting Luffy's allies in the war. Her announcement will be nothing special, but that's literally just what Momonosuke said. Tama's announcement can't be the exact same thing Momo said, can it? Like, what would be the point of that? Dritz Usopp is the only East Blue Straw Hat that is not in the top 5 popular characters, not even top 10. People still love him, but his character has been constantly just a joke after the post time skip, in my opinion. Well, I mean, you've been right. Usopp has been a joke. I don't disagree. No, they not, Dritz. Nami got way more character than Soro. Don't do my girl like that. I don't know. I said she's applicable to Zoro, not that she's necessarily worse, although Whole Cake Island was. Mm. I mean, Zoro and Nami have not been great in the post time skip, although they haven't been as bad as Sanji. Yeah, Dizzy, if Lamato was going to join the crew, then Oda wouldn't have let Nami transform her tact into a club as a new power up. It further cheapens Lamato's already non existent originality. Yo, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the best argument, but it sounds more like supplementary things you would say. We'll have to see what the tact looks like moving forward if it's always going to be a club. Do I think Kureha might know more things than she says? Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I mean Kureha's been around. I mean she's 141. She's been around, man. Nami power wise doesn't look good. Power wise, has Nami ever looked good power wise? Outside of Alabasta, and even then, if Perospero is done or taken up by Sanji, then Carrot's motivations for wanting revenge are pointless. I mean, I don't think Perospero is defeated. I don't think he would have been defeated like that. That would be. I mean, if that's the case, then that is absolutely hilarious. But I don't believe it to be the case. Just if Marco's role is to fight King off screen, then doesn't that make both characters underwhelming? We already know they can fight. King isn't progressing the MCs at all. Why is Marco even here? Why is Marco here? Good question. I don't think Marco knows why he's here, so he can't. I don't know how to answer that. But as far as Kings related, I don't know. King is actually just, I don't know what the hell Oda is doing with King. Nothing is the answer, but he's obviously saving him. Nami hasn't looked good power wise, but I was still surprised to see she was already down, but we finally cut back to Usopp as Pedro and ulti. You know, Nami had more durability and pain resistance in other arcs compared to now. Nami is literally just a girl. Remember whenever Nami like got like her foot stabbed through? Uh Man, the double finger fight was good. Why can't we have good fights again? Nami even got like Jigan through the shoulder by Khalifa. Man, that fight's awful. I mean, I don't know. Oda's editors have to talk to Oda about actually giving his side characters good things. Just, I know Zeus isn't a character, but how bad is he compared to everyone else in Wano? Yo, how bad is Zeus compared to everyone else? Well, you really have to run down the list because he's better than some characters and worse than others. Uh, Zeus is just a giant missed opportunity as far as I'm concerned. Oda really did not care about Zeus or writing anything related to Zeus until the chapter that he cared, and then that's why I kind of failed. Um, Zeus is just man. Imagine fumbling an opportunity like Zeus. Dritz, what do you think about Yamato training Nami in Thunder? What? Yamato training Nami in Thunder Bagua. Nami doesn't even know what hockey is. She doesn't even know. Oda should have had Nami slowly befriend him on the way to Wano. Yeah. I mean, Tyler, you're right. Um, the thing with like the Zeus plot line, and this is where it like I just get annoyed sometimes with the way that Oda writes, is that you can tell behind all of the doo doo, the like the dried up butt crumbs, that somewhere beneath everything there was an idea, a good idea, and it just went absolutely nowhere because we know what the idea for Zeus, what it was supposed to be. It didn't pan out the way that it was supposed to, but it could have been really good. The Zeus stuff could have led somewhere great, but it didn't. And that's what makes it bad. Jits, do you still hold Wano as the worst arc in One Piece based on the expectations? Why hold Wano as the worst arc in the series based upon how bad the writing is, how good the arc is supposed to be, what the arc means thematically, what Oda himself has set up? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's even close. Which always gets me into a conversation with people, but it's just, yeah. Would now be a good time to bring up the sales? Yeah, sure. We can talk about sales. We can talk about the sales because I know this has been a topic of conversation among people. I think what Cole made a video about this. I'm sure Brago probably made a video about this as well. I'm going to assume at least that he made a video. So One Piece in sales, what it's going to be if you count the new volume that just released, it's probably going to be right outside the top 5. If you don't count the new volume releases, it's like number 10. I think that's accurate. So what's the explanation for how bad, I guess relatively speaking, One Piece sales has been? If a lot of other series had One Piece's sales, they would be considered massively successful. But the context is different here because of what One Piece has been in the past for so long. I mean, it was the number 1 in sales for 11 years, and now it's kind of getting low diffed by other series, even series that don't have an anime. And One Piece has an anime. There are lots of things that you can look to explain the difference in sales. For people that are like, want to look for a reason, you could say like, well, maybe people don't really like where One Piece is in the story right now. Maybe they got bored of One Piece. And that's probably one factor in a list of a lot of other factors in the series for why there's a discrepancy in sales. It's important to point out that there's more than one answer. So if I were to take a guess, I would say that 1 is social media. 2 is the state of One Piece right now. It's having an effect on people's enjoyment and or how well it's doing sales-wise. The number of volumes that One Piece releases is another. But I think the most important factor is that these newer series are just more interesting. People are naturally entertained by the new and great stuff. Whenever a series pops off, it's because there's interest in something that's new. It's not the same old, same old. So you see a lot of these other series like JJK, like Chainsaw Man, like Demon Slayer, that are popping off because they're bringing something new to the table that people want to see. It's not as formulaic as One Piece. People are getting new things. But I also think that social media has a ridiculous effect on sales. If JJK and Demon Slayer were released 7 years ago, One Piece would probably be still number 1, I would imagine. And that's because word doesn't get out about series as much as it does when it's being, advertised on social media in other forms and on YouTube. Now that that's kind of like at an all-time high, I think that's the reason why you see so many series having such ridiculous sales figures. Is that more so now than ever, people are able to find series and learn about them through their communities in a much more effective and streamlined way. Do I think Mihawk can be redeemed? Redeemed? Well, redeemed. That's an interesting. Well, I don't think Mihawk's ruined yet. There's a possibility for it though, so I don't necessarily know if he needs to be redeemed. I just want him to be executed well. Although people have pointed out, and it's an accurate thing to point out, it is without a doubt a missed opportunity that Mihawk has not mattered in the lore or anything related to Wano. When Wano is theoretically supposed to be about swords. Shoutouts to Jay. The fact that Mihawk is not involved is a disappointment. The fact that Mihawk has no lore is disappointing. Yet. We'll probably get Mihawk lore whenever he's relevant to the story, but that's something that I don't necessarily like. Thoughts on Brook and Frankie, the forgotten duo? Well, Brook's my second least favorite Straw Hat. Actually, Chopper. Ooh, it's Chopper. He's my third least favorite now. But I mean, to be honest, even back whenever Brooke and Frankie were introduced as Straw Hats, I think more so than any other Straw Hat, there was literally there were very few expectations for these characters. These characters of Brooke and Frankie were obviously introduced to be comedic relief and just side characters. So expectations for them aren't as high. I do think that Brooke had a much higher cap in terms of what his potential could have been as a character. It also helps that Brooke and Frankie basically don't have dreams. Not in the same way that other Straw Hats do. Just Big Mom failed to kill Ulti. Is her bad performance even funny anymore? Hey, but she beat Page 1. Haha. No, that is weird. Like, Oda let Ulti tank that attack after Big Mom just created a new homie and did a tri-beam attack. Couldn't even beat Ulti. Hmm. No, guys, I said they don't have dreams in the same sense that the Straw Hats do. The Brooke and Frankie don't have to work for their dream. Theoretically. All they have to do is exist. And also, yes, Wally, I agree. Brooke's timing of joining the Straw Hats was awkward to say the least. And it's actually one of the reasons why I'm disappointed that nothing happened with Brooke's character. Because I think the logical, if Oda was a character writer, there is a very logical path that Brooke's character would have taken in the post time skip. In the gap. But it didn't matter. But yeah, I mean, Brooke basically joined and immediately the crew just disbanded for 2 years. Frankie needs to maintain the dude. Joker, do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself, Joker? Frankie has to maintain the ship. Oh wow. Oh boy. And like, I want to make it clear. I don't think it's a bad thing for Frankie's role to be I have to repair the ship. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, I don't think Frankie needs I need to find the all ship blue. That's not a bad thing. It's just the fact that his dream doesn't really require him to do much. That doesn't mean there's nothing that you can't do with the dream, but it's not something that Frankie has to work towards. It's not an issue. It's not something he's aspiring to do. It's just something he has to maintain. It's like a job. All he has to do is do his job. And there are other things that could be interesting with Frankie, like with the counter Pluton, although it hasn't really gone anywhere. That's like endgame stuff. But Frankie's dream doesn't necessitate him really being a full character. Same with Brooks. Brooks is just stay with the Straw Hats so that whenever they go sail around again, he meets Laboon. Why are you hating on Frankie? I'm not even hating on Frankie. I'm literally just pointing out that Joker's brain dead. His dream isn't to build the counter Pluton. That's just a plot point we all know is going to happen. That's not his dream. But anyway, it just goes back to the point in time where I'm just saying that whenever Brooke and Frankie join the Straw Hats, I mean, you can kind of also get this inclination simply by the design alone. But Brooke and Frankie aren't supposed to be primary Straw Hats. That's why they've been in the background so much. Dritz, you hate Sanji and Brook because you're not a fan of the perverted character. That's factual. But you like Jiraiya, something and up. What do you think is the difference between Jiraiya and Sanji and Brook? You're right. I have and this is not something I factor into objective criticism. I have a subjective distaste for perverted archetype characters. I don't find them entertaining 90% of the time. And they come off as very, very annoying. And it seems more like a cultural placement by Japanese mangaka than it is entertaining. I find them usually in poor taste. But that's just a subtle dislike. I wouldn't complain about the perfect archetypes for those characters if that wasn't basically one of the only aspects of their character that exists. Huge difference between Jiraiya and Sanji and Brook. Dritz, rank the Straw Hats based on pre-time skip. Pre-time skip. Pre-time skip, it would be Luffy, Nami, Zoro, Robin, Usopp, Chopper, Brook, Frankie. Brook during Whole Cake was amazing, though. Brook was amazing. All right. Dritz, 2 questions. Who did the world government send after Mihawk? And 2, what will his next move be after that? Who did he send? I don't think they sent anyone. My opinion, I don't think the government sent a named character that mattered after Mihawk. Where is he going to go after that? I don't know. Brook was amazing. Amazing. Wow, amazing. Amazing. I guess our bars for amazing are different. Brook did a couple of useful things. I would not say Brook was amazing. I would say that Brook did things that helped the crew, but there were some failings with Brook and Whole Cake Island that are very, very obvious. I mean, he was a support player. He wasn't a main character. But the parts that I cared about Brook and Whole Cake Island, there were 2 very distinct missed opportunities with Brook and Whole Cake Island that actually could have mattered. Outside of that, Brook was okay. He was fine. Brook did a good job. But the parts that I cared about Brook heading into Whole Cake Island didn't happen. I think it would be better for Oda to take a 5-year break and travel the world and come back rather than rushing it. If Oda left for 5 years, I don't think he'd be able to continue writing. How bad is Kanjuro compared to the other villains in Wano? Well, let's name the villains first. Well, we got Hawkins, Kaido, the Commanders, Hold'em. Orochi. I mean, he's probably up there. He's up there. Just, do you agree that it's a huge missed opportunity that no important characters have mentioned wanting to become the world's strongest swordsman like King Momonga? Cracker Vista? Yes. I mean, we've been over this numerous times, and I'll expand on it more at a later date. But the lore behind Zoro's dream is horrendous. It's a joke, if I'm being honest. It's a complete joke. Brook being amazing in Whole Cake Island smells the same as people saying Chopper curing the virus was peak fiction. No one said that was peak fiction. Also, to elaborate on the things I was looking forward to that I think were missed opportunities for Brook and Whole Cake Island was one. What did Brook say about the Vinsmokes heading into Whole Cake Island? Does anyone remember? Does anything know? Does anyone know what was hinted at? That's number one. Number two is that Pedro could have not been the funniest death in the series by a mile, unless Kiku's actually dead. If there was something actually done with Brook and Pedro's character while they were off the team together, Oda didn't really do anything. How does Oda justify Black Blades without downplaying Mihawk because many of the characters should have it but don't? I have no idea. I don't know what Oda has planned for Black Blades, and I don't know if there's going to be a good answer at the end of the road. Yes, Cross Counter got it. On the way to Whole Cake Island, Brook basically mentions that he knows and has a history with the Vinsmokes. There's a connection there, and it never mattered to the plot line heading into the arc and wasn't brought up ever again. Oda brought it up and then did nothing with it. Neko is still running around to reach Perispero. Yeah. Yes, he is. Which is worse, Nami versus Ulti or Sanji with the Black Maria stuff? Ooh. Hmm. Which is worse? Man, I think probably on similar levels to one another. Sanji versus Black Maria is probably more annoying with the way that it's executed. Who is a better character, Nami or Rukia Dritz? Well, I don't really know anything about Rukia. Um, I don't know the literature of Bleach, so I can't answer that question for you, mate. Dritz, what do you think about all of the shreds joining as Mary Sue's of their professions already? Take a guess. Your question is, who is Zoro going to fight next, Kaido or King? I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I could see it going either way. I could see Zoro fighting King. If anything, I'd say that Zoro fighting King has a greater chance of happening than Zoro fighting Kaido. I'm willing to bet that whoever healed the Scabbards will heal Kin and Kiku, and this time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, it's Hiyori. Right, we know it's Hiyori. There's many One Piece fans think fighting feats equal amazing character. Well, let's just expand that. It's not just One Piece fans. That's just fans in general. In our community, since we're One Piece fans, we call it One Piece fans think, but that's really just what people think in general. Just what about the four mafia families mentioned by Capone back in Whole Cake Island, same as Brook and Vince Smokes? I don't actually remember this part so well because I probably didn't care about it. I haven't gone back and reread the arc in a long time. But weren't those just the families that he basically killed in what was the West Blue, wherever he's from? Who's the better character, Yamato or the Thousand Sunny? What? Is it character? Some people saying Kaido Curry is a better character than Dofi. Oh, God. Ignorance. I mean, they're allowed to like him more. I don't care. Dritz, what are the chances Toki appears and sends Luffy into the future? Well, that seems very unlikely. Dritz, Chopper crying about Luffy losing was so pointless because, like Sanji said, this happens every time. So why is Oda regressing Chopper so much? Because Chopper is part of the bitch trio and all they do is cry. It's never genuine tears. It just Luffy, Big Mom. Kaizen Ooh, missing the W, could be Ooh Woo. Says Dritz, thoughts on Yamato overall? Thoughts on Yamato overall. I find Yamato to be one of the most annoying characters in the series. I think there was potential with Yamato's character, but I think much like how Oda ruined Sanji and many of the Straw Hats characters, Oda ruined any chance of Yamato being successful by basically having them be on repeat and say the exact same things over and over and over again, and trying to force her into the crew, into the limelight. And it's worked with the casuals because all they care about is character design. But just a horrible miss. It's also very curious that Oda, it feels Oda could have done something with this earlier in the arc. I'm not sure why Oda waited 77 chapters to introduce Yamato. I feel like this could have been something that was introduced way earlier in the arc. I don't know why he waited so long. Because now he's put himself on the timeline where he's basically forced to just throw these things out there in this manner. I don't know. Just why the fuck is Kaido so confident that he just killed Luffy? Where is it coming from? Generic evil villain. Also, like, dude, what? How did Kaido? Whenever Momonosuke was giving the Onigashima wide announcement that Luffy was alive and okay, how the fuck did Kaido not? Did he not hear that? He was inside the mansion, was he not? Because Momonosuke was giving that announcement while running away from Kaido. How did he not hear that? What is he just not thinking? Like, Am I wrong? Was he not there? I don't know. Maybe I just can't read. I didn't hear a single word Momo said. Yo, why did I read that in the Hunter x Hunter narrator voice? Dude. You know something else that I found curious? This goes back to chapter 1015 as well. But you know how people are like, oh my god, the Straw Hats just have so much faith in Luffy. Oh, that's my crew, that's my captain. Their faith is unbendable. This is one of those situations where I think it's actually illogical for the Straw Hats to think that the way that they're thinking. Because wasn't it stated by Bao Huang that Luffy was thrown into the ocean? Didn't that happen? So when the Straw Hats here, Luffy was literally thrown off the island. Why the fuck is this bot Sanji saying, it always works out? Like, we don't have to worry about that. It's not like, it would be different if they were commenting on the state of the fight, saying Luffy was losing, and then the crew says, believe in Luffy. But they literally said, Luffy lost, he got thrown off the island, and he's fine. Bao Huang! Like, dude, what? Do something. How does no one act? It's water. How does Luffy beat water? I don't know, man. Someone just drank a Red Bull. Sanji says he's the MC, don't worry. Like, literally, like, what happened? Like, am I the only one who thought that? Like, this is one of the scenarios where saying I believe in Luffy doesn't make any sense. No one reacted. It's like, what? Like, dude. Not what? I don't know. It's like, Sanji, you have Skywalk. Maybe you should like, oh, maybe I'll go check. I don't know. Like, dude, what is going on? No plan whatsoever. They didn't even communicate. It's just like, yeah, he's fine. Whatever. What, dude? Come on. The funny part is also that like like the chapter before that, Kaido, as he like threw Luffy off the island or whatever happened, maybe he like knocked him off when he hit him with an attack or something, and then Kaido's like, no, I should actually kill you, otherwise they won't believe you're dead. Ain't that right, Straw Hat? And like the next chapter, Momonosuke is like, I got a message from Luffy. He said he's okay, and Kaido's like, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. That didn't exist. JK Network, Dritz, what do you think of the formula Oda does with Luffy where he fails to beat the villain and is tired? The villain is arrogant and doesn't take him seriously, only to lose later anyway. That I'm okay with that happening sometimes, but when it's done in excess, it's ridiculously annoying. There seems to be a divide between what Oda wants the characters to do and say, to which they should. In my opinion, Oda can't be bothered to make the crew doubt Luffy because he can't be bothered to write it. I mean, it's really just dude, it's, I don't know, man. It's, well, I didn't say anything whenever chapter 1015 came out. When people were like, yeah, I believe in Luffy miracles, the callbacks, shouts to Arter, the callbacks. But I was like, dude, like, does no one else see how this doesn't make any sense? Like, who? I don't know, man. How to be satisfied with that? It's just like, oh, that's my captain. You're. The so-called forever underdog MC trope. You know what's going to be wild? You know what's going to be wild is whenever Luffy inevitably wins in this arc and news gets out that he defeated Kaido, Big Mom got folded, he freed the land of Wano, and like, and Blackbeard's going to be like, I don't care, Mugiwara. You're still just a peasant to me. Blah, 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 blah. And, like, nobody takes Luffy seriously. He's going to be the forever underdog, even as a Yonko. When I hope there's a point in time in the series where Luffy isn't just an underdog. That would be interesting to see how Oda handles that. Two cyborgs going at it. Come on, Frankie and Queen should be a thing and add some sauce to the characters. I don't know. I don't really agree with that. It's like just because they're the same, they should fight each other. Power scaling wise, it makes no sense whatsoever. Frankie and Queen, a second commander. It doesn't even make sense whenever Zoro and Sanji are fighting them. Frankie would be even worse. We knew this back when Queen was underestimating Luffy and Udon, and I bitched about it back then. I had my chapter reviews, and I said, it's understandable for people as strong as the Yonko to underestimate Luffy, especially because, like, you know, like Big Mom, the circumstances, Kaido, none of the Yonko bought Luffy being the fifth Yonko. But when, like, Queen and the commanders read the newspapers that Luffy beat other commanders, and Queen's like, this guy's a peasant. It's just like, oh God, where's the respect? Come on. And Luffy's like not even trying. It's like, dude, come on. What's going on, mate? It fucking hell. Just thinking about what Kaido says about Wano being a special island, I agree with him. I guess there's no other island in the series where more ships have fallen from a waterfall. It is special. How sad is it that Law was more concerned about Luffy losing than Nami and Usopp? Dude. Have Nami and Usopp done anything other than just cry? Does whenever Oda's drawing these panels, does he think like, yeah, this is it? Yeah, I'm gonna have him cry like in some like poorly drawn panel, but like, yeah, this is it, man. That'll get people going. Supernovas are a meh concept. Why have the worst generation when Luffy is the child of prophecy at Dritz? Well, let's clarify this, Kaizen. The supernovas are not a meh concept. They're actually a really good concept. It's meh execution. Really good concept, meh execution. Actually, not even that bad. Bad execution. That is true, Rahul. That is true. Speaking of Law, do you think he'll exit the story post Wano? Yeah, I could see that. Maybe like he goes to do something else. I could see that. I guess Nami crying is hot. Oh yeah, man. The Western audiences, the Japanese audiences, they love it. They just can't get enough. Do I think Elbaf is Shanks or Big Mom's arc or neither? I mean, at this point, I think all of those options are equally as credible as the other. Um, with more believability towards Big Mom or Shanks because we're in the Yonko saga. I don't think after Wano, the Yonko saga will be confirmed to have ended. So if we go to Elbaf, I think by nature of being in the same saga, it has to do something with the Yonko. So Big Mom or Shanks seems more likely to me. Do you see Kaido and Yamato dying being a parallel to Whitebeard and Eight? What? Okay, Hunter, you're gonna have to expand this a bit more. Do I see Kaido and Yamato dying being a parallel to Whitebeard and Ace? What? Are these even comparable to one another? Can you expand on that a little bit more for me? Junta? I think Akainu will be the only one not to underestimate Luffy because, unlike the other antagonists, he barely plays around. It could be the case. Yeah, I mean, that would be within Akainu's character to just, go ham. Akainu would Buster Call a baby. Last chapter, when Momo said Luffy was fine, Kid was smiling, Kid is a bona fide straw at this point. I'm not going to go that far. There was a way where that could have felt like, oh, yeah. Because if Luffy and Kid actually had a rivalry, it could be like, yeah, my rival ain't going to fall like that. Even though he's fighting the guy that I have issues with in my place. Do you think the main reason why the Lakers lost was because of injuries? Well, yeah. Well, one, yes. But even with injuries, I'm not so sure if they would have gone much farther. But if LeBron wasn't injured, if AD wasn't injured, I think they definitely get past Phoenix without much issue. What do I think is Crocodile's secret with Ivankov, Dritz? I really hope it isn't a gender change. But having said that, I don't know. I would like to think that maybe whenever Crocodile got stomped by Whitebeard and like he got his scar across his face, maybe Ivankov healed him. Who knows? I'm not sure what it is. I just really hope it isn't a sex change. Colin Samuels asks, have you questioned why Luffy no longer has rivals that will challenge his dream of Pirate King other than Blackbeard, and that he no longer has any marine rival that stands a chance against except the Admirals? Dritz? I mean, yeah, I've talked about it for a while. Who wins, Kakuzu or Pain? Why are we asking this? Braun is watched as Prime edited in Miami. I think Braun's Prime could be debated as. I don't know if there is a better Braun than he was when he went back to Cleveland. Even though Braun was better defensively back in Miami. I think if I were to choose a LeBron that I would want the most, I would want the LeBron that was in Cleveland. What's the best subplot of Wano for me? It was Yasue. Hmm. The best subplot in Wano. That's a good question. Yasue might be the answer. Even though I don't think it was that good. But compared to all of the other subplots, that hmm. Yeah, you know what? You know what? Might be it. Who's a better antagonist, Donzo or Akainu? Donzo or Akainu? I would say Akainu, although I don't think Akainu has reached like a great status in terms of being an antagonist yet. But I think that what Akainu was involved in creates more emotional resonance with the fandom than Donzo thugging it up in the background and then getting folded by Sasuke. I'm not saying that Donzo's bad either, but I think that Akainu is involved in more meaningful scenes. Which overall villain group is better, Beast Pirates or Yeti Cool Brothers? Yo, 2018 Braun, give that man Kyrie again. He's beaten Warriors in 7. Listen, LeBron throughout those years in Cleveland was an animal. An animal. Braun's 2018 playoff run is legendary. Absolutely legendary. I don't think Braun could have done that in Cleveland. I think he had supreme IQ. I think his physical prowess was at its prime. His confidence was really there. I don't know, man. Braun was just a fucking beast. Got whatever he wanted. Huge, too. He was fucking huge. You guys remember how big LeBron was back in 2017, 2018? He was huge. And LeBron's always been big, but he was a monster. Like, you can really tell the difference between Braun's size now on the Lakers versus 2018. It's not even like the same, dude. It's like, oh my God. They're like a mammoth. What are the chances Kaido and Yamato's flashback will be montaged in half a chapter? Half a chapter? Nah, 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 nah. For something like this, let's not like, I'm all for calling bad things out when they're bad, but I think they'll get more than half a chapter. Mainly because it's Kaido. Yo, there's no pause here, guys. There's no pause here. It ain't gay. LeBron was fucking huge. Who do you think served as the better conscience for the respective mind broken MCs? Uh, Sylph for Kaladin or Puck for Guts? I would say Sylph for Kaladin was better. and probably not even close either, even though I love Puck. Are there any Strats that I would say are better characters than Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi? Let's talk about Naruto and Sasuke. Better overall than Naruto and Sasuke? Any Straw Hats? Uh, no, I don't think so. Do I think Kinemon's still alive? Yeah. I think Kinemon's still alive. I don't think he's dead, guys. And it's kind of weird because like I was talking to Wing and a couple other people throughout last week, and I was asking them if Kinemon and Kiku both end up being alive, like how severely would that affect their enjoyment of like the how much that would affect the arc. I think people are in for a rude awakening. Which book has your favorite Sander launch? Wait, does he explain what a Sander launch is? I'm not familiar with this terminology. Dritz, what would be funnier, Queen getting off screened by Sanji or Conjuro being alive? Funnier? Funnier is Conjuro being alive. If Queen got off screened, that would make people furious. Furious. It's not funny. Conjuro is funny by reputation of how shit he's been handled. But if that fight was off screen, it'd be different. Dritz, pre-time skip Luffy or pre-time skip Naruto? I prefer pre-time skip Naruto. Mainly because of how it led up to the Sasuke retrieval arc. I feel like the Sasuke retrieval arc and the battle between Sasuke and Naruto that's glorious, glorious. Have I been reading MHA recently, Dritz? No, I have not been reading MHA. How bad do you think Shiryu killing Mihawk is? How bad? On a scale of 1 to 10, that's a 10. That's a 10 bad. That's awful. That's garbage. That's trash. Trash, EI. Trash. If Mihawk died to Shiryu, oh my fucking god. Yo, can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. Do you still have hopes for Blackbeard or Akainu? I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have some kind of hope. Um, but my issue with One Piece is more or less the fact that like, is my hope realistic? So, like, I always believed that before I became completely 100% blackpilled, um, I was like, how. There's no way. Oda loves Shanks. He loves Mihawk. He loves these characters too much to mess them up. So he's gonna get them right. But then, like, I read the post time skip, and I read it again. I'm like, well, why would it change? Why would the sequence of events we've been seeing change? And I don't know. Like, I can't really give a good reason for that. So I hope that Oda delivers with Shanks, with Mihawk, with Dragon, all of the other hype characters. but I'm not confident on that happening. A Sandor launch is those moments near the end of the book where Sanderson keeps flipping through multiple perspectives and it feels like a roller coaster. Oh. Huh. To be honest, I don't know if I'd be able to answer that, Jesse, because I'm not sure if I remember those sections. Who's a better villain, Krollo or Johan? Why are you trying to get me in trouble? Soccer was always bad, but when do you think she officially took a dip as a character and destroyed her potential? I think we all know. See, Dalinar stranded on the plateau, battle against the listeners with Seth, battle in Thaylen City. Oh, then I'll choose number one, Dizzy. Easily for me. Dalinar stranded on the plateau. The fact that people say Luffy versus Usopp is better than Naruto versus Sasuke is wild to me. Listen, if people like the series more, then it's not crazy. For them, maybe that hit more. I don't think they're close, although I think that Luffy versus Usopp is fucking amazing. That's god tier. I just don't think it's as good as Naruto versus Sasuke. But I would understand why people like it more because they're just more attached to the One Piece characters, and that makes sense. So it's not like crazy to me. Dritz, the streets really need the Johan sucks vid. Yeah, dude. Oh, they do need it, don't they? Dritz, what makes Sanji worse than characters like Leorio? Leorio, Sakura, Orihime, and Chopper for Leorio. Leorio? Why is Leorio in this bunch? Why is Leorio in the same bunch as Sakura, Orihime, and Chopper? Leorio? Oreo? What? Okay, let's just go to the question. That just caught me off guard. Okay. What makes Sanji worse than characters like Leorio, Sakura, Orihime, and Chopper for you? Well, we can break this down into multiple sections. One is preference, where it is archetype of character. So inherently dislike certain archetype of characters. Sanji falls into that archetype of character. Two, though, is the frequency in which they are shit on by the writing. Sanji, more so than Sakura, Orihime, and Chopper, is consistently shit on in the writing. It happens over and over and over and over again. And this happens with these other characters, except for Leorio. But it's much more severe with Sanji's character in the way that it's executed, the way that it's delivered, in continuity with the character, how important Sanji is supposed to be. For me, it just makes it much, much worse. Leorio, the definition of mid, though. I'm not saying Leorio is an amazing character. I like Leorio. But like, I never thought Leorio was a bad character. He's just kind of there. I think he's underutilized. But worse than genuinely bad characters? Yeah, I can't condone that. Leorio is like a weird one to put in there for me. Dritz, what was the thing about Lunge that you didn't like at the end? I didn't like that there was basically no conclusion that was satisfying with Tenma. It felt like it led to nothing. Only character I hate more than Leorio is Gon. Why do you Leorio? Okay, okay. Dritz, what do you think about Deku as a character? I have a helicopter going right by me. I wonder if you guys can hear that. What do I think about Deku? I mean, I'm not really knowledgeable on Hunter. I mean, on My Hero. I don't really like Deku because I don't think he has any character relationships that I find endearing. Has Wano reached fourth Great Ninja War levels of bad? Yeah, in certain sections it definitely has. I mean, fourth Great Ninja War is more impactful than Wano because it's basically the end of a story. But it's reached those levels. I mean, Ahmed, you can think that. That's fine. I don't. If you like Johan, that's fine. I don't. I can't even say I like him. For me, I mean, I would classify Johan as a failure. But I understand why people like him. Dritz, what did you think about Ram's whole section with Roswaal in season 2 of Raid Zero? Harvest and Barry says, I don't understand why Johan is widely considered one of the best villains. I do. Like, I feel like I understand why. And it's an age-old argument that I disagree with. Young Obama says, quick rundown on the chapter, Dritz. Anything for Sir Young. So broke down to 3 parts. First part, Fire Festival, whatever. Not bad. It's fine. Nami section, suck ass. Yamato Kaido stuff. Yamato's annoying to me, but it's not objectively bad. So that's the breakdown. Yo, BDV, what's going on, man? The Kaisen chapter maybe drop this series. Oh dang, we got a hater over here. Don't think there's going to be an Act 3 tragedy, boys. How long has Act 3 been going on for now? Has it reached 50 chapters yet? Joker, I should just ban you, man. Sup, Dritz? Do you think there's a chance that we'll see Luffy and Kaido's awakening this arc? Unruly Jamaican. Yo, what's going on, man? Thanks for dropping by the stream. Luffy's awakening and Kaido's awakening. So these are kind of like 2 separate questions to me, so I'll tackle them. I would be disappointed to see Luffy's awakening. because I don't think it would make sense with the narrative, capital N, for the arc. Why make anything else matter if the solution to winning is just going to be awakening? Why make him go through all of this training and unlock all of this bullshit just to have the answer be awakening? That seems like a waste of potential and a wasted opportunity as far as I'm concerned. Now, as far as Kaido's awakening is concerned, I don't even know if that's a thing when it comes to Zoans. I don't think there's a special awakening form. I think it's like a passive effect. I would be surprised if it was a form. So, like, if Kaido has an awakening, which he should, I think he's already been using it by how quickly he recovers. Like, from what we've seen, you know, like, what was highlighted to us like an impulse down was just, like, fast recovery time from awakened Zoan users. Good healing, stuff like that. I don't really know if there's a special awakening form. There could be. Just if you don't like Johan, I think you should watch the Masked Man's video on why he's a great antagonist. I haven't watched Masked Man's video, but I've watched numerous. Whenever so to put this into context, mate, whenever I finished Monster and I thought it was duty, I was like, well, maybe let me go see what everyone says about Monster. So I watched a few videos, some explaining the end of Monster and, like, you know, why this villain's great. And I came out of those videos with the exact same opinions that I went into them, because those videos didn't change anything. All they did was do the exact same thing that a lot of other stories do, which is explain to you what the story was trying to tell you, and they don't tackle how it was executed. My issues with Monster is that I think, not that the characters' ideas were bad, I think that they were written poorly. And that's with virtually every character. I think that virtually every character in Monster gets hoed and fucked over by the end of the story. And I enjoyed Monster for most of its runtime, but I think it has one of the worst endings I've read, because it subsequently hoes every single character and makes a bad ending, in my opinion. Dritz, what do you think Kaido lacks the most lacks most compared to other major One Piece antagonists? Is it presence, personality, motivation, character interactions, or all of the above? It's kind of like a mix of some things. Presence, most of it is about consistency. Because you'll notice that some of, like, the best villains in One Piece aren't deep villains. They're just I'm evil Gur. Crocodile and Alabasta, for me, is definitely the best villain in One Piece in terms of how he was executed. And he's just a very, very simple villain. Now, he became more complex over time, but during that arc, he was just simple. And he was executed the best. Kaido is kind of like a mix between there's writing issues with Kaido, inconsistencies with Kaido, but at the core of his character, he's supposed to be like these Lucci-esque characters, like these Crocodile-esque characters. But it's just the writing issues and inconsistency that kind of fuck him over. Did I watch the anime? No, I read the manga. Who's my favorite character in Monster? Do I have one? I don't think I have one. Do I think Monster handled tension and sense of danger well, or no? Yeah, for the most part, yeah, I think it handled tension very well. I just don't think it delivered. So I'll say that I think that in many sense, like especially towards like kind of like the end, it didn't really deliver on the tension, and that goes back to like execution. But for the most part, yeah, it did a very good job of creating tension. Urasawa, although not the best artist, is pretty talented with creating like like dark hallways, dark corridors. He sets the tone. I think it's a he. Uh, but they set the tone very well, so no complaints in that department. It's a genuine question. Is there a reason why Oda is so hesitant on giving other characters hockey in advanced hockey like the Straw Hats and Kid? I don't really get it. That's a question that we'll never know the answer to be honest. I'm not sure. I have an idea as to why that's the case, but it's impossible to come to a conclusion on it. What devil fruit fits your personality the most? Well, if you were to ask One Piece fans, I should probably have Hawkins' fruit because all I do is give straw man arguments. Just I don't know if I ever asked, but what do you think about Advanced Cock basically being another armament variant? Well, I mean, we should give it time to expand, I would say. But I don't, not necessarily the biggest fan. I don't think it was executed well at all. Where do I think hockey stands among other shonen power systems? Well, you're not talking to a shonen expert here, so I don't know. It's obviously no Hunter x Hunter, but I wouldn't say it's it's kind of weird to say because I don't know. I would say it's comparable to Chakra. Just how badly executed was Johan's sister as a character? In my opinion, she basically just. Ugh. I thought she essentially became pointless in the story. It's read Aku no Hana. I feel like I've actually heard of this title before. Flowers of Evil. I've heard of this before. At least Chakra has more variations. Yeah, I guess. I don't think they matter that much. But I know more about hockey than I do Chakra, let's say. But the issue with Chakra is the issue with Chakra is the same issues we have with hockey, is that you have infinite amounts until you don't. What are my thoughts on how King and Queen's fights have been handled so far? Um, King, it's kind of like the opposite problems. Queen is a joke. King is actually the questionable one that seems like the most odd to me because Queen is basically just an udon again. But this time during the raid. But King, this is his first time doing this, and it just there's a severe absence of anything coming from King. Should Oda have given Katakuri a future sight? Should Oda have given Katakuri a future sight? Because in my opinion, that if I Oda could have focused on Katakuri attributes and Delphi more than just future sight. Well, I don't think future sight's an issue. Like the fact that he focused on future sight isn't bad at all. So I mean, like for me, that doesn't particularly matter. And now it sucks that future sight sucks, but the idea of focusing on isn't that big of a deal. Although narratively speaking, you could argue that it should have been more focused on Devil Fruit. So there's an argument to be made there, especially coming from the context of Dressrosa. So, yeah. There's no spoilers, but Gugu and To Your Eternity is way better than March so far. What? Way better? Oh, come on. Gugu's great. I love them both. March Baby Girl. Gugu is that boy. I won't say any more because there'll be spoilers. Scar says, Dretz, I have a problem with Oda's writing of Luffy. He made Luffy very, very special with the absolute biggest potential in the series, yet he always tries to sell him as the ultimate underdog. Very similar to Naruto. Correct, Bicento. Which is better, Monster or Bleach? Well, I haven't finished Bleach, so I don't know. Can't give that answer, mate. I finished Monster. I never finished Bleach. Do I have any series that I like that aren't real? Yeah, okay. I guess I should dispel this. This usually comes in the play. I like many, many series that I don't think are that good. There are some series that I have issues with because I expected them to be better, or I thought they could have been better, but ultimately they ended up not being that good. Everyone has series that they like which are mid. Nothing wrong with that. Well, just to be fair, there are more than one definitions of an underdog. I mean, there are. This is true. I don't really have a huge issue with necessarily Luffy being the underdog when he's logically supposed to be the underdog. Being special isn't necessarily the biggest issue. It's just the way that it's executed. And basically just goes back to writing. What are the series that you like that you think are mid? Inuyasha, for one. Soft spot for Inuyasha. Let me go back and check. I should have a list of series I've read. It probably jogged my mind. Oh, did I get rid of everything? Oh, fuck. Damn, dude. I got rid of all my manga tabs. Fuck. Oh, I have to remember. There's so many. I've read so many unknown manga. Let me think. Do you like Star Wars? I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I like it. Not the new Star Wars or even prequel Star Wars, but you know the original Star Wars. Oh, also original Fullmetal Alchemist, not Brotherhood, but original Fullmetal Alchemist. I like that, even though it's not that good at the end. But I like the things that it did well because I think the things that it did well, it actually did better than Brotherhood. So I have a soft spot for those specific scenes, but overall, Brotherhood's better. Yeah, what's up, Wing? Inuyasha has god tier ending themes. I mean, I just have a soft spot for Inuyasha. I used to stay up late. Was it? Inuyasha came out at like 12:30 where I was. I stayed up late to watch Inuyasha, man. That was my shit. I have Inuyasha volumes. Some of the only manga volumes that I actually own are Inuyasha volumes. I bought Inuyasha games for the PS2. I bought the Inuyasha movies. Dred, speaking of old FMA, would you recommend it even though I already watched Brotherhood? Yeah. Yeah. I would recommend it. Because you're gonna probably come to the same conclusion that I came to, which is the fact that yeah, overall, definitely not as good as Brotherhood, but the peaks of regular FMA, I think, are better for people who appreciate dark tones. Full Alchemist does a better job at the dark scenes than Brotherhood does. Kikyo was my first anime waifu. Dude, Kiku was also one of my first waifus, bro. Except back whenever I liked Inuyasha, every single person online that I saw fucking hated Kikyo. I'm like, dude, like I like her more than Kagome. Like I wanted her and Inuyasha to be together because it was sad and tragic and they had this good relationship together. Even though I like Kagome and Inuyasha. But I was like, dude, come on, Kikyo, that's Bae. Love Kikyo. Actually, one of the reasons that I actually liked Inuyasha so much was that Inuyasha was action romance. I'm big into romance, and Inuyasha had that. Shishomaru has one of the best character designs ever. Shishomaru's character design is raw. How do I feel about Yasha? Yeah, oh, I don't know how to spell that. Yashahime. I've never watched. I haven't watched it. The ending of FMA felt like a little bit of an ass pull, but it was creative, and I liked the direction they went. Well, that's because the final antagonist of FMA, Dante, is ass. That was done horribly, but there is an aspect of FMA. The ending is. I prefer that kind of ending. I remember whenever I watched that on Adult Swim, the first time I ever watched the ending of FMA, I was like, no fucking way. What? I was so shocked and so upset. I could not believe that they went that direction. But I was like, damn. Kikyo was a savage. Her and Shishomaru kept me invested in that show. Kikyo, I just like it. Kikyo was just all about being tragic, tragedy. I liked it. I also liked the. I remember I even went out and bought the specific DVD that has only like 4 episodes on it. I actually bought the first 2 seasons of Inuyasha's anime as well. I remember I used to watch it literally all the time. I was obsessed with it. But I even bought like the DVD where it's like it just shows like the relationship between Inuyasha and Kikyo because I actually liked it so much. Oh, oh yeah, I still like Kagome. I didn't really have many issues with Kagome. The only thing that irritated me with Inuyasha was it's these are accurate memes. Like when people do like memes of Inuyasha, it's like half the dialogue is Kagome, Inuyasha, Kagome, Inuyasha. It's like dude, shut the fuck up and say something. All they do is say each other's names, screaming it. Dritz, do you think Oda wants to adapt to the new shonen landscape, but he isn't able to change his format? That's why he is trying to be unpredictable by reaxing plot lines. Uh, I, Gavin, I feel like you'd probably have to like write me an essay on why you think Oda is like trying to adapt to the new shonen landscape, because I reaxing plot lines, e.g., the Scabbard's defeat, like is I don't know how that's an argument for trying to adapt to the new shonen landscape. You were memeing that before that was even a meme, dude, because it was just so obvious. It's like, dude, come on, man, like, please stop it. Is Fate a good series? I've heard the visual novels are much better winged, but as far as the anime is concerned, it's worth your time to watch it. To be honest, I watched it whenever I was like 2021, in exchange for one of my friends to watch One Piece, and I had a great time with Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works. Oh, fuck. Good how the script's coming along. Well, I actually worked this week, so I didn't get a whole lot of progress on maybe like 1 or 2 pages. So overall, it's like what 28. I think I have like 28 pages edited now. Out of I think maybe what's the total? In terms of structure, I'm about halfway done. I would say, but there's still another half that's longer than the first half to work with. Have I seen any of Uzumaki Khan's reactions? Nope. Nope. I don't watch. I don't watch anything One Piece related. To be honest, I don't watch anything One Piece related. And since I don't have any personal investment into any scenes in the post time skip, I don't watch live reactions for the post time skip. I'll occasionally go back and watch Khan's reactions to the pre time skip. Do you think Nami is one of Big Mom's daughters, possibly? I remember when that used to be a theory back in Whole Cake Island. No, no evidence for it. Am I releasing the videos in part? Yes. the the impromptu script name for part one is The Downfall of One Piece Part One: An Introduction. That's the working title so far. Walk-ins still a thing? Walk-ins still a thing? Is that like Hawkins but walk-ins or walk-ins? I don't know. What is that? You always thought Kid and Frankie would be Kid and Frankie. That is weird. Kid and Frankie. How long is each part? Probably gonna be a few hours each. Well, a few hours for part one. Part two is probably going to be shorter because it's going to be an arc. Basically, the structure of how the videos are going to be released, they're going to be released in parts. Part one is an introduction to get a bunch of shit out of the way so that I don't have to deal with it later. And then part two is going to be uh, Return to Sabaody and then Fishman Island. That's part two. Part three will be Punk Hazard. Part four, Dressrosa. Part five, Zoe. Part six, Whole Cake Island. Part seven, Wano slash Reverie. Young says, "You think Oda cares more about the monster trio than the original three dynamic?" Yes, yes, I do. What videos am I making? Wing, I'm making uh an analysis series talking about why I don't think One Piece is good anymore. Basically. Colin Samos, Dritz, do you think that the One Piece anime being way better than the manga just takes away from the manga chapters? Does they go into detail? Yes, they do. It does take away. Morocco and them damn beads were just hilarious. Like, what was the point of the wind tunnel if it could almost never be used? Well, it's just to be like a risk. If you use it too much, you die, and that kind of just needless to say, I wasn't a big Moroku fan. Although hearing him say "wind tunnel" was cool. You know that Punk Hazard slander? Oh, it's coming in. It's coming in hot. Do I believe the Strats will disband? Based on what? Is Reverie an arc? No, technically, no, it's not, but it's basically considered one. What character did I wish joined the Straw Hats? Um, eh, I don't know. Nobody. um, I kind of have the mindset where I would prefer there to be less members and just more focus on those members. Like, I would be completely 100% satisfied if the only Straw Hats on the crew were Luffy, Nami, what get Sanji out of there? Luffy, Nami, Zoro, Usopp, Chopper, Robin. I would be completely satisfied if those were the only crewmates for the Straw Hats. Because the more crewmates you have, the less all of the Straw Hats are going to matter. So I would only pick a handful and just ride with that party. I don't like big parties. It usually is never a good formula. Am I going to edit those videos by myself? Yes, I am. Arsenal. I'm writing a script for One Piece. I think Mihawk will. You think we'll get Mihawk and Ivankov flashbacks? I mean, we should, but I think that there is a dragon. I think there's a chance that Dragon could be Joy Boy. Dragon being Joy Boy? No, I don't think so. You don't like Robin? I liked Robin. I don't like Robin anymore, but yeah, I loved Robin in the pre-time skip. Favorite warlord other than Mihawk? Crocodile. Easy peasy, Crocky. Crocoboy. I think Shanks' character will be assassinated like the other Yonko. Dude, I hope not. I hope not. I love Shanks. Look at this guy named Don Quixote D. Joker saying Def number one. Wow, amazing. Would you make a video on the difference between Garp, Sengoku, and Suru and the current admirals? The difference? Be a short video, I suppose. Not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to that. When do you think we'll see Weevil? For at the beginning of Wano, I thought there was a chance that Weevil might come to Wano in search of Marco. That seems to be no longer the case. I don't even know if Weevil knows what he's doing. Where does Weevil fit in? He might be Elbaf. I don't know. I think the issue with Straw Hat numbers could have been solved if we had less characters surrounding them. Yes, I mean that. It's not like it's you can't do big party members. You just, but yeah, there's a natural logic to it. Oda, in every arc that Oda has, there's a million characters, and whenever you have a million characters, the arc's either going to be ridiculously long if you want to have everyone get attention, or people are going to be forgotten and thrown to the sidelines for these newer characters, and that's basically what's happened, and not for the better. You reach a threshold at some point. There's only so much you can write and include in an arc with a limited amount of characters or an unlimited amount of characters. If Moria kills Kaido, what are your thoughts? If Moria kills Kaido, well, if Moria killed Kaido, Wing, I would be disappointed in the fact that Moria versus Kaido was completely off-screened in the Oden flashback, and that I mean, the only way I would ever support Moria killing Kaido is if like Kaido was already defeated, but no one had the balls to kill him, and then he came and did it as like a revenge. But that would basically require Moria being in the arc from like beginning or like middle to end. And if he came in at the end to do it, it would feel stupid in my opinion. I agree, Young. I don't think Oda should focus as much time as on background characters. I think it often comes to bite him in the buttocks. Full body Virgo, devastating, yeah, to himself. Do I think Big Mom will die or will she be redeemed? I think she'll die. Although that could be, you could still include Big Mom being redeemed in her dying. It's not mutually exclusive that Big Mom can be redeemed and then still die. Dritz, years after your video and One Piece ends, and it ends masterfully, will you objectively do the rise, the fall, the rise again of One Piece? I mean, it's only fair. A rise, the fall, and then the rise again. I could probably do if One Piece ends well, then yeah, I could talk about like how One Piece came back from the grave. But yeah, I mean, that would probably be like a more condensed video, I would say, and not as analytical. Or it could be. I mean, it depends. But yeah, that is fair, Cliff. Well, Mustafa, the Odin slander, and it will be coming. The Odin slander will only arrive once I hit. I mean, there'll be bits and pieces where like I allude to Odin slander, but the Odin slander will only come when we get to Wano, and Wano is going to be I guess for now, the last video that I'll do in the series. What if Moria came at the end, killed him when he's heavily damaged, and made him a zombie dragon like he did Oars? I feel like that would be trash, Wing. Like it would feel very undeserved, very weird for the entire arc to be focused on Luffy's gotta defeat Kaido. Luffy, do this. Are you one of them? And then at the end, it's like Moria's just like, and here I am. And he just comes in and then beats Kaido after he's already injured? That would be very weird. Do I plan on reading any new manga anytime soon? After I finish the introduction One Piece video, I'll probably start reading Vagabond. That is the next manga on the list. Do I see Luffy dying EOS? No, I do not. Although it's still a possibility that he could die. It's not like it's like I don't think it's impossible, but I just don't think he will. If Luffy were to die, I would be somewhat impressed, to be honest. Like I would have to see the fashion in which he died. But like I've always said, I think there are two plot devices in this series that were introduced to make sure that Luffy survives. So I would be shocked. I would be shocked, absolutely. What do I think will happen with Bia? Is that supposed to be Boa Wing? Boa Hankook. Also, while you're answering that, Wing, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Not poop. I'm not pooping. I'm just going number one. There's been no poops in the stream. I want the record to show that there have been no poops. All right, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Okay, so to answer Wing, because I'm pretty sure he meant Boa. I'm gonna tell you what I want to happen, Wing, because I don't think this is going to happen. But for me, if there is a best case scenario with Boa, this is how I would personally handle it. So the situation that Boa is in right now, logically speaking, is a lose-lose situation. Boa is defending an isolated island that can't move, and she is surrounded by Navy forces. Even in a hypothetical situation, if she were to ever beat Kobe in a fight and, let's say, repel the Marine forces, unless she moved the entirety of her people, which she shouldn't really have the resources to do that, she is still stuck on an island, and her people will be in continual war until they lose if the Marines need to send an admiral or something, which would be able to handle Boa quite handily. So, it's important from my perspective to give Boa credit, but also give her character agency heading into the final war. Because for a character like Boa that's been hyped up for so long, the worst thing you could possibly do is reduce her to the standard woman damsel in distress package that is infested all of the other women in the One Piece series, and to mock her strength, because Boa is the only beautiful, strong, competent source in the series for us to be like, yeah, go. She's hot and she's strong and she doesn't suck. All combined, let's go. Boa go. Blah, blah, blah. So the best way to handle this is to incorporate one of the only things that Boa has going for her character in terms of character agency, which is her branded mark for Celestial Dragons. The way that I would handle this is that Boa on Amazon Lily puts up a really great fight, not conclusive, but the rest of her island is essentially defeated, and Boa needs to escape from the island with her own ship in some way, shape, or form. But in the process of a Boa escaping the island because it's overrun, it is revealed that she has a Celestial Dragon mark on her back, and so do her sisters in the fight. Boa's sisters, Marigold and Sandersonia, are captured by the Marines and are returned to the Celestial Dragons as slaves because they're supposed to be returned to them. Boa escapes, having been essentially her people defeated, but her herself not defeated. And then going into the final war, Boa will need to save her sisters from slavery. That way, she has character agency. She's will obviously go to Luffy. And that you can do something with that. It keeps her strength respectable. It's like the best of both worlds, in my opinion. Because it would be so dope to see her be in that situation. That's what I want to happen. I don't think Oda is capable of writing that. So she'll probably just be turned into a crying girl. Yeah, this will be my second channel, Cliff, as per usual. Thanks for dropping by, man. Go enjoy your party. That's what I'm saying, Felipe. That's what I want to happen. That's how I would write it. But I'm not Oda, and Oda doesn't write like that, so it probably won't happen. Boa, the last bastion of hope for strong female characters in One Piece that are beautiful, will probably be hoed over, made a damsel in distress, captured again, and then Luffy-sama will have to save her or some bullshit. Dritz, how's the Bloodborne playthrough going, and how do you think of it compared to the other Souls games? So, let's see. I'm not too far into Bloodborne. I have not been playing it nearly as much as Sekiro or Dark Souls. So far, if I were to rank it, my favorite Souls games that I've played would be Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1. If we're just going off of gameplay. I enjoy Sekiro's gameplay is fucking amazing. I think the boss fights in that game are I had the most fun fighting bosses in Sekiro, but I prefer Dark Souls 3 over Sekiro due to personal preferences in the aesthetic, and I actually do like the combat system in Dark Souls. I am not the biggest fan of Bloodborne, to be honest. It's fun, but I don't know. I don't like the dash mechanic in Bloodborne. The Genichiro fights are insane. I mean, the fights in they're just good in general. Genichiro fights, great. Owl fights, great. Sword Shade Sword Saint Ishin is my favorite fight in the game. That is god tier. Oh, I really really love the combat for Sekiro because it's more about getting into the rhythm and flow. It really feels like you're going back and forth in a fight. It feels intimate. So it's really really satisfying to win. How far am I into Bloodborne? What was the most recent boss I beat? Let's see. I already beat the cleric beast. I beat that bitch in the church that turned into a werewolf. Um, I haven't beat the electro guy. Um, I beat the dude that shows up at Gascoigne's place after you beat him. Um, the old hunter. Uh, who else did I beat? I feel like I beat one other person, but I can't remember. Planning on starting Dark Souls 3 soon. Oh, Cross. You're gonna love it. There are so many Berserk references in Souls games. That's another reason why I love it so much. So many. Suns or Jazz? Suns or Jazz what? Coming out of the West? Well, if the Clippers actually fall to the Jazz, then ooh. I don't know. If the Clippers fall to the Jazz, I think the Jazz might take it. At least to the finals. They're gonna lose to the Nets because no one can beat them, but they seem really good, to be honest. What's my favorite GTA game? I think the only Grand Theft Auto game I played was San Andreas, I think, and I never finished it. I was never really into the. I think I played San Andreas and I played True Crimes, which is basically a GTA ripoff. I played True Crimes more than I played GTA. Do I like the Netflix Castlevania series? Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it. Just you're only in the beginning, it gets way better the more you go. I played like I think I'm like 10 hours into the game. I've like gone off to the side because I'm basically doing whatever my brother wants me to do. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I like Dark Souls mechanics better than I like a Bloodborne's so far. I also much prefer the aesthetic to Sekiro and Dark Souls over Bloodborne. But so far, Bloodborne hasn't disappointed. My only frustration with Bloodborne is that I absolutely hate, I despise the dash. Oh god, it's nowhere near as good as the roll. There were numerous Berserk references in the Elden Ring trailer. Numerous. Dritz, wish I got to see Nami go all out, barely win the fight, break out the illusions, maybe some combo attacks with Usopp, keep us on our toes. I feel like I've been hoed. That's because you have. Dritz, do you want a Netflix subscription or something, bro? You don't watch anything. I don't, dude. I don't want. I'm doing other things. I don't watch stuff because like I'm not just sitting here on my computer staring at the wall watching paint dry, dude. I'm playing video games. I'm watching stuff on YouTube. I'm writing. I'm talking to my friends. Like I don't care that I don't have Netflix, man. It has not impacted my life at all. If I want to watch a movie, I can just rip it. I don't need Netflix at all. The internet is more than enough for me. Also, I think I'll answer a couple more questions and I'll probably wrap it up, boys. I went 1 hour longer than I normally do. But I think Oda will do Usopp dirty and Elbaf too. I mean, yeah. If he did Sanji and Zoro dirty, why wouldn't he do Usopp? But well, I mean, you can't roll when you're locked on, Scar. You can only dash. I don't like that. Commander, there will always be another manga that inspires other manga. It's not gonna just stop. Whether it inspires you will be different, but for other generations, yeah, there's always gonna be that manga. Random question: is my brother older or younger than me? He's older than me. That's my was it my Nichan. Nissan. Exactly, Collins. You don't need. I don't need cable TV. I don't need these subscriptions. I can find things that I prefer online. The only way I would get Netflix or these other things is if I had a family and they wanted to watch them, or if I had a girlfriend and all she wanted to do was watch Netflix, then I'd get Netflix. But like me, I got enough. Like I have Twitch to watch things. I got YouTube. I don't need to watch TV shows. I got manga to read, and plus I have a full time job. Like it's not like I have infinite amount of time, free time. Anyway, boys. Um, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. As per usual, I will probably have this up later, maybe tomorrow on my secondary channel. And well, actually, I'll answer one more question. What would I have liked to have seen from Zoro and Wano? I would have liked to have seen Backlash from Whole Cake Island. I would have liked to have seen Zoro more attached to the characters, more interactions with the characters of Wano. I would like to see some personal and emotional stuff attached to Zoro. I would like to see some more relevance to Mihawk. Zoro learning about more Ryuma, more taking care of that stuff. But yeah, I will peace out, boys. Catch you later.